you get a quarterback trying to run for a first down, but it had him 3rd down and 5 or 3rd down and 4, something like that. Quarterback, I know where to go with the ball, good coverage. He drops back, know where to go, tries to run with it, gets the first down and get pushed.
Yeah.
As you know, he's like 2 steps out, like he get pushed. It was late, yeah, it was late, but I don't think that play determined whether or not the game was won or lost by the Cincinnati Bengals.
Agree, but the flag still, by definition, you have to throw the flag, right?
By definition, you have to throw. He 2 feet out of bounds. You don't touch the quarterback.
Then what's happening with some of these really blatant obvious, like Joe Burrow was tackled and they drove him down. That by rule, by definition, should have been roughing the passer. I think the PI.
Did he have the ball?
Yes, he was sacked.
Yeah, right. You can't have rushing the passer when you got the ball. I mean, roughing the passer when you got the ball.
You can't drive these guys into the ground.
Crazy, Rich. You can drive the guys into the ground as long as they got the ball.
The rule they changed that rule. You watch, you drive him into the ground, you throw him, you fling him, or you pile drive on top of him, they're throwing the flag. They didn't throw it in this case. The phantom call on Hilton, the PI call was a BS call. I go back to the Eagles game where Johnson, your guy, OC, basically tweeted out and said, no. It's called timing the snap, understanding the snap count.
He was good at that.
Well, then he knows what he's talking about, because from my vantage point, watching it on the tube, it seems like they're jumping all over the place. Everyone now comes out on Monday and Tuesday, and we go back to the conversation about the NFL and the officiating. And then in your brother and former running back, Arian Foster, who I guess said it sarcastically.
I got to believe that. I have to believe it was sarcastic.
You believe it was sarcastic, him saying the NFL is rigged and scripted?
It had to be. The only script Arian had on his seat for game for the week is the top 20 plays that you're going to run in that game, or whatever the practice script is for that week. That's what he's talking about. He's not talking about a rigged script or what they're telling him what to do.
Yeah, he said. Yeah, so talked about the NFL being the ring, latest mess, blah, 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 blah. I think that's a very, fixed and rigged. It's strong words, man, because then it obviously implies a lot of shadiness. It implies there's the gambling element, the betting element. But how do you, I don't believe the NFL is rigged. And I'm a big, when it comes to conspiracy theories, I might buy into a lot of them, but I can't for the life of me watch a game and say the NFL, it's predetermined who's going to win that game, even if it's scripted or rigged, because it doesn't. So are you going to tell me that when Eli escapes the grass and the ball sticks to David Tyree's head like this is scripted? This is scripted.
That is not scripted.
I mean, you can go on and on. You can go to the Super Bowl when they were up, Atlanta was up 28-3. All right, New England's down 25. Let's script it. Let's have these guys come back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. When you
NFL is not rigged, man. There's too much hard work goes into it every day by a lot of different people to get wins. If the NFL was rigged, I'm thinking about these guys, coaches would never get fired.
Correct.
So they're losing games. But if it's scripted and supposed to, and they rigged and it's supposed to lose, well, then why are they firing these guys?
Yeah, but see, when you have a prominent player like he was, prominent player like you, or when you come out and you make that joke, whether it's sarcastic or not,
people go with it.
People take the bait. And now everyone comes out and they want to look at all these different plays. And I just think the officiating flat out stinks. And I think there's 4 or 5 plays during a game on either side where it should have been called, it shouldn't have been called. Look, we're hoops guys, we're NBA guys. Back in the 80s when the Celtics were playing the Lakers, or Detroit was playing the Lakers in the finals, and they called Lambeer for a ticky-tack foul in game 7 and 88 against the Lakers, and Kareem went to the line and sank both of them. They called Lambeer for that foul because of what he did in the first quarter, in the second quarter. In the NBA, it's a makeup call. Do you believe there's makeup calls in the NFL?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I would say that's rigged. That might happen 1 or 2 times. But I wouldn't say it rigged like that. I mean, you give somebody a BS call and you turn around 2 or 3 plays later and give a call like you like, absolutely, that was not holding. They gave him a holding, but that's that makeup call from the mess up they did before.
You ever play in a game like that, or there was a series or a couple downs when you were playing where there was an egregious call or no call, then all of a sudden, whether it's offense or defense, harps a little bit and they
Yeah,
harp a little bit.
I think it was Tennessee Titan that we played them in Nashville. Monty Toomer running on the sideline, and Pac-Man Jones, I want to say. Pac-Man Jones is in his hip pocket, like with him, clean as a whistle. Goes up and get the ball, and the referee called pass interference on it. I'm like glad we got the PI, got us down there where we needed to be. We can punch it in and score. About I don't know, about 2 drives later, maybe 2 drives later, we get the ball back. And Kareem McKenzie, we like 3rd down and like 6 or something like that. Kareem McKenzie kicked, blocked it in. And he blocks him, but the guy gets up even with Kareem. So Kareem shoots his hand, turns and run with him. They call holding on it. I'm like, holding? Holding? He turning and running with the guy right next to him, just standing between him and Eli. That holding? There ain't no damn holding. That was that makeup call for that pass interference that they called on Tennessee. That wasn't a pass interference.
Was that the Matthias Kiwanuka? The Vince Young play?
Yes,
no
that was
sacks?
the same game. That was the same game.
Yeah. And I think
That was
Jones
the same game.
he had a pick in that game later on. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That's the
so
same game.
it's so magnified though. Like every time you watch these games and it's 3rd down, it's a incomplete pass. The first thing out of the announcer's mouth is no flag. That's where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
So
people are looking for the yellow flags more than they're looking at the game. No.
So how do you remedy that? How do you fix that though? What do you slow the game down and review everything? Like for instance, the expedited replay, clearly Smith did not catch the football. I'm not going to say the outcome's different. Maybe it changes the complexion. Maybe the score's a little more closer.
Here's what I think. And people might think I'm crazy for saying this, but if they make a call on some BS, and later review the call and see if that was what the call that really happened, right? If they got any points off of that particular drive, those points are negated. So if you but I don't know any other way around it.
You have to replay every call.
You can't just sit here and call bad calls and the game stay as is. The game, man, these guys been working their ass off now. This game is like this. So your bad call that gave them 3 points or 6 points or whatever have you, that shit should be negated. Or just on that call. Just on that call. And like nothing else. I don't think there's anything else you can do about it.
So what would you deem reviewable? I would say roughing the passer, pass interference, and holding.
Hands to the face, everything. Hands to the face, reviewable. Of course, blocks in the back, reviewable. All that stuff should be reviewable. Just like the targeting and the roughing the punters and all of that stuff. All of that stuff should be, every call that comes out should be reviewable. You should be able to look at anything.
Yeah, the roughing the passer, that's another thing. If you get blocked into the kicker, how's that your fault? It makes no sense. I don't know, man. I think rigged is a very strong word, but like I said, when you have prominent player or players come out and they say that, all it is throwing gasoline on a fire, man, because now you have to start to incorporate the gambling and the betting. Look, ratings are at an all-time high. So all this nonsense a couple of years ago, no one's going to watch the game anymore. That's a lie. People are going to games, they're buying the merchandise, they're drinking the beer, they're watching on the TV. It's billions and billions of dollars. What's the benefit of, say, a referee? I mean, what's he going to make? Because if the referee's really going to make a substantial amount of money, like say 10 million on the Super Bowl because he's throwing flags, you would see the line movement. You would see the betting line move big
We talking
time.
about a Fortune 500 company. It's possible. It's a possibility. If a game is going to be rigged at some point, that's who got a chance to do it. The players isn't going to buy in.
Right, but all right, let's just go on your premise for I'll bite on this. Super Bowl, Eagles in Kansas City. The line right now is Philadelphia's laying 1.5, so we'll just call it 2. Okay, it's moved a little bit. We get it because Mahomes not 100%, and then you see the money starts to be bet on a certain side, so the line moves up and down. Fine. You mean to tell me if we come to learn that a referee was in cahoots and there's a $10 million bet placed on Kansas City and that line jumps 3 to 4 points, that would raise such an eyebrow that we would know. Like, he's not doing it for $5,000 or $50,000 or $100,000. He'd have to really, this is not like what Tim Donaghy did in the NBA where he was, clicking the whistle here and there. I think in the NBA, you can kind of get away with it a little more.
Yeah.
The NFL, I mean, it's tough to watch sometimes. Like, do they want to slow?
Everybody got to be on board with something like that, though, man. Everybody got to be on board with that in the NFL. You can't just go here and get one person to do this or one person to do that. All the referees got to be in cahoots, right? The offensive and defensive coordinators on both teams got to be in cahoots. Hey, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot that goes into trying to do some shit like this with an NFL game. There's a lot. And I just don't think it really happens like that.
You ever think a player would do that, though? Like, players we've seen years ago in the 60s, some of the players, the Paul Hornings, the Alex Karras, guys suspended for gambling. But I'm saying a player blatantly disrespecting the game, and let's just say a prominent wide receiver dropping easy touchdown passes in a game, or a prominent quarterback who just looks beyond lost and he looks like a rookie just slinging it and chucking it and throwing horrible picks. I mean, can you even envision that scenario, or is that just beyond sacrilegious and taboo?
I'll tell you this though, watching that like that's what the San Francisco Eagles game looked like on this past weekend. It looked like it was rigged. The way San Fran played on offense with the turnovers that they had, it definitely looked like it was rigged. They couldn't get out of their own way offensively.
Is it because they were that bad offensively and the Eagles were that good?
They were that bad offensively, which is like, God damn, we're just missing a quarterback. Let's get the ball in Christian McCaffrey's hand and Deebo Sam. Like, let's get the ball into these guys' hand. You don't need a Pro Bowl you need a Pro Bowl Hall of Fame quarterback to get the ball in Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel's hands, man. You don't need that. So the way it just looked, I mean, snapping the ball, hit off his thumb, his hand, looks at it, goes after it. There's another ball on the ground. He land on the ground looking at the ball, won't fight for it. Like, shit like that. Like, it's like, that game really looked like it could have been rigged. Just that San Francisco Eagles, it definitely looked like it could have been.
Yeah, but I can't believe for 1 minute, even if it started to reek like that, I don't know. I can't imagine a player sitting there and just throwing a game.